Hello and welcome to this course. Before we move forward in this course, I'd like to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what is this course about. That way you have some sort of idea what you got yourself into. Okay. All right. So who am I? Well, my name is Paulo Dishon, and I'm a software engineer, mobile developer, and instructor. I take a lot of pride in being an instructor because that's my biggest passion in my life. And I have a lot of students online, over 100,000 students right now that I've taught how to build mobile apps, how to build software in general, from mobile apps to web apps and so forth. So that's what I do. I'm very passionate about it. That's why you can see on my picture there that I'm always smiling. All right, very good. So now what is this course about? Well, in this course, primarily, we're going to be building modern web app with Flutter 2.0 and Dart. So Flutter 2.0 was a big announcement made by Google, Flutter team, that includes a lot of different things. One of the things is the ability for us to build web apps using Flutter, right? But as well as creating desktop applications. So now with Flutter 2.0, you're able to not only create iOS and Android apps, so those are mobile apps, as well as creating desktop applications. Now, to create desktop applications, of course, there are different kinds or different operating systems such as Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. So those are three separate main OSs that exist out there. Okay, for that to work, obviously, you'll have to have those machines running. And some of these features are still in beta, meaning they're still being worked on. But nevertheless, things are moving in the right direction. And that's the reason why I decided to create this course. So like I said, in this course, we're going to focus more on building modern web apps with Flutter 2.0 and Dart. Now, the other thing I would like to kind of put it out there for you, because it's very important, especially when we're learning things via video, as you are doing in this course, is that there are different ways to approach learning. And I know we all have our different ways, and we're not here to discuss those. But I have found that it's really helpful, especially when it comes to programming, to do all the challenges and exercises that I may pose to you. So if I say, I want you to stop this video, go and do X, Y, and Z, I really mean it. You should actually stop and take the time, pause the video, take the time and do those exercises, or do whatever I'm asking you to do, because that will help you to actually be more successful as you learn these things. Now, programming, as you may know by now, it's not easy, but it's not too difficult. Meaning, if you put in the time, if you're patient with yourself and you actually do the work, you will see progress. And that's one of the things I always tell my students. So do all the work that I may ask, and of course, go ahead and code along with me. Always feel free to pause, take breaks. That's also part of the learning process. All right. So I don't want to lecture you too much. And the other thing to remember is that when you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to stop. It's okay to take a break and go get coffee, glass of water, tea, or whatever it is that you drink. That way you can relax your mind and get back at it once you're fresh. Okay, that's totally fine. And again, that's the beauty of having online courses, because you can do that whenever you want. Okay, you can stop them and go do something else to relax and come back to it. So that's not frowned upon. Please do that. Now, also course prerequisites. So obviously, I would like you to know the basics of Flutter or any other programming framework or languages out there, right? Because in this course, obviously, I'm assuming that you already know the workings of Flutter, or you understand how programming works, right? If you know, for instance, Dart separately, that's perfect, because that's what we're going to be using, or it's used with Flutter. If you know Java programming, but you've never done Dart or anything else, that's totally fine, because you understand the concepts. You may need to brush up on those skills, but I assume that you already understand how Flutter works for the most part, or you understand how to program. Okay, so this is not going to be a programming 101. It's just going to be, we're going to go straight and start coding things. Obviously, I will explain as we go through certain concepts that I think you may need to really understand, but we're not going to focus on programming 101, meaning the basics of programming. And of course, just to repeat myself here, you need to know Dart fundamentals or any object-oriented programming language. Okay, so those are the prerequisites. And if you've never done Flutter before, but you meet one of these prerequisites here, you should be fine, because the concepts of programming are pretty much essentially the same as long as you have the basics down. Very well. So without any further ado, let's get going.